It's Monday night, and it is on. Bananas doubleheader from the National Football League. That's the scene in Washington, D.C., where the Vikings and Redskins kick it off at 7 Eastern. And we are here in Oaktown, Oakland, California, where folks have been lining up since yesterday morning for the Raiders and the Chargers. NFL Primetime. It is on. Manning versus Manning did not disappoint. How the brothers sized each other up and why it wasn't Peyton or Eli who decided the game. QB controversy is already brewing. Will Jake Plummer's rough week one cost him his job? And will Drew Bledsoe be on the bench soon, too, as well? The spotlight on the debut of Reggie Bush. How the Heisman Trophy winner showed Houston blew the first pick in the draft. And Brett Favre came back for more, but more of this? Why things went so lousy at Lambeau for number 4. So helmets on, pads pulled up tight, yo, because we're busting them up and breaking down a wild week one on NFL Primetime right now.
NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. Primetime is Miller time. And now, here's your host, Stuart Scott.
Technically, it's called McAfee Coliseum. We all remember it as the Oakland Alameda Coliseum here in Oakland, California. NFL Primetime coming to you from the road, West Coast style, 1 in the afternoon in the West Coast. What's good, NFL Primetime? New day, new cast, same in-depth analysis and complete highlights. You know what? We're going to have twice as much fun. Stuart Scott alongside former NFL MVP Ron Jaworski, Hall of Fame coach Mike Ditka. Guys, give me 3 or 4 words that summed up the first Sunday of the NFL season.
I'll go with 3 words, Stu. Protect the football. You want to lose football games, turn it over, Coach.
I think that's about 13, Jaws.
Well, I got protect the football.
Are you ready for some football? That's what I'm talking about. The NFL is on. I love it. That's about 20 words.
These guys can't count. I'm going to go with All in the Family, which I know is 4 words, but that's the way it was at Giants Stadium last night. First time ever, 2 brothers started quarterback against each other, Peyton and Eli. First quarter, 3rd and 8. This is why Peyton completed 25 passes to 6 different receivers. That's to Dallas Clark. As for little brother Jaws, what is Eli getting good at?
I'll tell you, anticipation. That's the key to consistent quarterbacking in the National Football League. You must anticipate first the blitz off the corner. Oh, here come the Colts. Then what's Eli do? He reads it. He's got the deep throw. He's got the one-on-one. Burris goes up and makes a great one-handed grab.
Coach, for Peyton Manning, though, how much is this? Yo, I cannot let my little brother show me up.
Believe me, that's the whole thing. But the older brother never, ever wants to be beat by the younger brother. I tell you, and it turned out the way I thought it would. I tell you, Eli handled it well. He said, hey, wasn't good enough. We lost. That was a big line. We lost. I didn't play good enough. That was general. If the Peyton would have lost, it would have been a lot worse.
That was Peyton, 2-yard touchdown to Dallas Clark. Eli comes back. Plaxico Burris, 34-yard touchdown. Eli had 24 touchdowns last year. Coach, what's your favorite thing about one of your tight end boys, Jeremy Shockey?
Well, Jeremy Shockey's such a good athlete, and this guy can be as good as anybody in the game. Uses his body well. He's got good hands. He's got to get his mind totally into the game that he wants to be the best.
What about the throw, Coach?
The throw boys right where he's at.
Speaking of the throw, Jaws, you're Peyton Manning. Why throw this pass?
Well, that's surprising right there because Peyton Manning usually reads that middle open and will lead it down the field. He threw it just a little bit short, and it was picked off.
R.W. McQuarters made the pick, but then Peyton rolls right, connects with Marvin Harrison, 20 yards down to the 1. Peyton, 25 of 41, 276, 4th quarter, 4 minutes left, 3rd and 11 for Eli. Oh, Eli trying to make something happen, picked off by Nick Harper. Eli, 20 for 34, 247.
I was just sitting there, I was talking to a guy right by the goalpost, and this guy kind of walked right by me, and he didn't see who I was, and you know, I'm looking at this guy walking, and I'm saying, oh, that's my brother right there, you know, and he happens to be the quarterback. That kind of hit me. You know, I didn't know what it was going to be like, but I kind of found myself watching him, you know, during warm-ups, and I was peeking at him during the national anthem, and you know, it was just kind of neat to be on the same field as him, knowing that that's my little brother out there.
It's something that's unique and something I'll remember just from seeing him pregame and getting to talk to him for a second to just, you know, watching your brother play and getting to talk to him, you know, after the game. We got a picture in pregame together. So, yeah, it'll be something that you'll look back on and you know, glad that it happened.
Battle of the brothers relatively even from a statistical standpoint. Eli better passer rating, but Peyton came away with the W. Peyton also passed former Giant Phil Simms for 19th on the all-time pass yardage list. That's the one-on-one. The game itself might have turned in one play, a pass interference call. Just over 4 minutes left in the fourth. 3rd and 2 for the Giants, down 16-14. Eli down the sideline, completes to Tim Carter, but flag on the play, offensive pass interference. Guys, do you agree?
Bad call. Bad call.
Well, you got to see the replay.
Bad
That's
call.
what you got to do.
That's not bad call.
Incidental contact, bad call. The coach is correct.
Well,
I'm never wrong about
Tom Coughlin about had a coronary. He was
Well,
so
they should
upset.
have had a coronary.
But the play stood. Instead of being first down in the 36, 3rd and 11, Manning deep downfield in the coverage, and Nick Harper picked it to seal it.
Well, Stu, Plaxico Burress must run that route deep down the sideline to occupy the corner.
26-21, final score. Cowboys and Jags regular season debut of Terrell Owens as a Cowboy. First Cowboys play from scrimmage. Coach, if you're Bill Parcells, how long do you take to get him involved?
Well, you right there. Listen, if the guy's a talent, he certainly isn't tired. He didn't do anything in preseason. He didn't do anything in practice. Throw him the football. Let him see what he can do. And he can do it. He's a good football player. Hopefully he's quiet.
Just stay quiet. Breaking tackles on the play. Jaws, what sets T.O. apart?
Stu, as you look right there, there's double coverage on him. There's a corner and bump and run and safety over the top. He's big, he's strong, he's physical, and Bledsoe was putting the ball in a good location where only T.O. could make the catch.
He's agile, mobile.
That's what Michael Irvin says.
Terrell Owens, he had 6 catches, 80 yards, and he had this. With the Cowboys down late, Bledsoe to T.O.
Now that is just whooping a guy up right
He's
there.
strong.
Yeah,
He's strong.
Or as they say
Get
down
out of
south, they say he's strong with the S-K-R-O-N-G, strong. And strong enough to make his first touchdown catch as a Cowboy. How did it work?
Great body athlete, adjusting to the football. Very few guys can make that turn.
Not enough, though, Dallas.
He's obviously a great player. You know, the guy can get down the field. He also, as he showed today, is excellent run after the catch. In terms of catching the ball and running with it, he's very hard to tackle. You know, so I thought he played well, and I think that'll bring good things for us down the road.
T.O. has his debut thing down, Cody. You might recall 3 touchdown grabs in his first game with the Eagles back in 2004. Yesterday, 6 catches, 80 yards, 1 score, one of only 6 guys in history with 100 career touchdown catches. That's T.O. the person. There was actually an entire game. Drew Bledsoe had an opening day to forget. Second quarter, Cowboys up 10-0. Bledsoe has T.O. open downfield. But see what happened? My bad. Uh-oh, don't T.O. Don't blow off.
That's part of the game. Sometimes you're gonna connect. Sometimes you're not. And you know, Drew had the utmost confidence in himself and in myself to come back again and try to make those plays happen. You know, and obviously they didn't happen for us.
A more mature T.O.
There you
talking
go.
about us and team. Jarzo, why did Drew Bledsoe struggle?
That was a bad decision right there. You've got to see the throw, and he's a hair late. You'll see the corner peeking back in. It's a trap coverage. That corner is baiting that throw out on the corner route and picks it off. Excellent job by the Jaguars. Poor decision on Bledsoe's part.
Fourth quarter, Cowboys down 17-10. Bledsoe looking for Terry Glenn over the middle. But he finds the wrong dude. Nick Greisen with the pick. Drew 16 of 33, 246, 3 picks. Under 30 seconds left in the fourth. Cowboys down 24-17. Coach, what do you say to your quarterback when he struggles like this?
Well, why did all this happen? They had 9 penalties in the football game. They couldn't run the football. They put the pressure on him. He can't get it done.
You can't afford turnovers, particularly in the other end. So that's something that we've got to work on and not have, because that's the difference. Those kinds of things, along with others, the difference between winning and losing. And those turnovers hurt us yesterday very badly.
We had a lot of mistakes, and you know, going into the games, we know that you can't win with turnovers, and obviously we had a number of those. We had some mental mistakes, jumping off sides, things of that nature. So, you know, we're not down on ourselves. We know that we had an opportunity to win a ball game.
Drew Bledsoe, 10 points, 85 yards in his first 2 drives. After that, different story. Bledsoe, 161, and had those 3 picks the rest of the day, generating only that fourth quarter touchdown pass to Terrell Owens. More QB issues, Rams and Broncos. Mike Shanahan and Denver taking on St. Boogie. First quarter, Broncos down 3-zip. Coach, how do you teach a running back to block?
I'll tell you what, blocking is a want to and know how to. He didn't want to right here because it ain't very hard to do.
And Mike Bell didn't know how to as Leonard Little ran over him, forced a fumble. Pisa, Tino Iso Maasa. Okay, I was close with that.
Good enough for me.
The Rams able to come off the turnover. Second quarter, Broncos down 6-0. Jake off his back foot. Ty Hill steps in and picks the pass.
Stu, you said it. Off the back foot. Bad mechanics.
Fourth quarter, Broncos down 15-10. Plummer fires long for Todd DeVoe. Bell, Biv DeVoe. Now you know, yo slick blow. Yeah, how do you throw that pass?
Got to locate the safety deep in center field. He did not. Consequently, interception.
But he's just trying to make plays. Why is he
Come
trying
on,
to make plays?
Coach,
Because
make
they
plays.
cannot run the
Make
football.
plays. You gotta play
they
smart.
can't run the football. They can't have success.
Jake, 3 picks in the day. Shanahan, what about it?
Well, you don't have to say anything to Jake. You know, Jake knows his first assignment is protecting the ball. And anytime you have 5 turnovers, regardless of how they happen, he knows he's got a job to do, and the first job is protecting the ball, even if you got to take sacks or whatever you got to do, punt the football. And, you know, it's something that's happened in the past, and hopefully it doesn't happen too many times.
People are going to be talking about quarterback controversy. Jake and Drew Bledsoe. Neither of them had a good game. Each of them threw 3 picks. Each of their teams lost on the road. Now, Jake Plummer had 7 interceptions he threw all of last season. He threw 3 by himself on Sunday, guys. Where is the bigger quarterback controversy? Which big D, Dallas or Denver?
Well, I think it's in Denver because when you look at what the Denver Broncos did this offseason, they went out and drafted Jay Cutler. They moved up to get him. That put a lot of pressure on Jake Plummer to perform. He did not perform very well yesterday. His mechanics were off. Maybe these quarterbacks need to play a little more in the preseason. And he averaged 3.3 yards per pass attempt. Not going to get it done,
And I'm
Coach.
not going to argue with you, but I think the bigger pressure is on Bledsoe right now, and I'll tell you why. Because if he doesn't start getting wins, then he's going to start getting discontent from one guy, 81, and it's going to disrupt that whole football day. People, you think I got something against Theo. I don't.
I feel the love.
You don't feel any love, but I got nothing against
It's not
you.
love. It's just not hate.
Just a lack of understanding.
Interesting thing about Bledsoe, man, kind of bananas to think about it. He's 7th on the all-time passing list, 43,000-plus yards, ahead of guys like Johnny Unitas and Joe Montana.
But what have you done for me lately?
Oh, Coach and Janet Jackson and Deion Branch about what have you done for me lately. News out of New England today. Deion Branch's holdout over. Patriots trade him to the Seahawks for a 2007 first-round pick. The Super Bowl 39 MVP entering the last year of a 5-year deal. He held out the mandatory minicamp in June and all of training camp. Still ahead, all eyes fixed on the big debut of Reggie Bush yesterday. The wrath of Mike Ditka now fixed on the Texans. The coach on Houston passing up on Reggie in the draft. And he decided not to pack it in after last year because it already clear Brett Favre made a mistake, while the numbers say number 4 better off gone from Green Bay.
NFL Primetime is presented by Miller Lite and approved by the men of the square table. Good call.
Can our brother get a Heisman Trophy winner? Saints and Browns, the regular season debut of Reggie Bush. Coach, what do you like most about this guy?
Everything. The more he touches the ball, the better he's going to get. This is the greatest thing that could happen to the New Orleans Saints as being in the National Football League with the Houston Texans, because they are stone brain dead to do what they did. This guy is a legitimate Gail Sayers, Barry Sanders, whatever you want to call him. He is good. He can get it done.
61 yards on the ground on 14 carries. Jaws, he had over 500 total yards by himself in one game in college. How do you stop Reggie the wideout?
Hey, Stu, props to Sean Payton, the head coach. He knows how to use Reggie Bush. You know, he's not running him inside between the tackles where he's going to take those hits. He's getting him in space, returning punts, moving motion out of the backfield, lining up as a wide receiver, getting him opportunities to use his tremendous talents, and he is best when he's on the perimeter. 141 all-purpose yards in the game. Reggie, talk to me.
I was under the impression that Aaron Stecker was playing today, and I found out literally in warm-ups that he wasn't playing today, and I was like, oh man, this is me and Deuce today, so probably get a lot more reps than I expected. But You know, it was a big win for us today. You know, a huge win. You know, defense played great. Offense played great. Drew threw very well today. You know, he made some key completions on third down that really helped us a lot. And, you know, not only, you know, with the completion, but just in our confidence.
Reggie Bush, talk about productive in his first game, 61 on the ground, 58 receiving, 22 returns, 141 overall, and more importantly, the Saints won. They'll try and take a 2-0 start next week to Green Bay, where they lost 52-3 last season. That's Bush doing his thing. Would you risk him on punt returns, Coach, real quickly?
I think for the time being, I would. I think you get him on the field any way you can, and this guy is good for the game. He's a good kid.
From good to, well, not so great for Brett Favre in his opener. Packers and Bears. Brett, 6 picks and 2 losses to the Bears last year. First quarter, packed down 7-0. 3rd and 3. Jaws, what would Brett's biggest worry have been about coming back?
Stu, if you saw the pre-snap look, they lined up 3 guys inside over those 2 rookie guards that were playing there. They were going to pressure Brett Favre up the middle, and they didn't do a good job of protecting him.
3rd quarter, Brett flush from the pocket, on the run, throws it away. At least he didn't throw a pick like he did 29 times last season, at least not then. Later in the 3rd, Coach, what do you say to your star quarterback when he's having a game like this?
Well, you know, I don't say a lot to Brett Favre. He's a Hall of Famer, but I think right now you got to understand, he doesn't have the surrounding cast around him to be effective. He's going to try to make things happen by himself. He can't do it. First of all, not against that defense. The Bears are a very good defensive football team.
He overthrew for a pick right there. He underthrows for a pick right here. Here's what Brett had to say after getting shut out for the first time in his career.
I have to admit, I was optimistic going into this game. I really was. Maybe I was the only one, but I really felt like we could surprise these guys, surprise a lot of people. That obviously is not the case, and you know, maybe I was wrong.
Yeah. Brett, 15 of 29, 170 yards, 2 picks. Shutout, as I said, first time in his career. And the man used to dominate the rival Bears. He's been struggling lately. No touchdowns and 8 interceptions in his last 3 games against Chicago. And, you know, I mean, this is the series that, you know, defines the Packers. It's the Bears. And for a guy not used to losing, this has just got to eat at him. Brett now 4-13 in his last 17 starts. Some NFL news, according to ESPN's Chris Mortensen, a source close to Trent Green says the Chiefs quarterback will likely miss at least the team's next 2 games due to a concussion. A CAT scan and MRI were both negative. A team spokesman had no comment after this hit. Green remains in the hospital. As for the rest of the game between the Chiefs and the Bengals, Carson Palmer started for the Bengals. In the 2nd quarter, Bengals went no-huddle. Jaws, what makes a no-huddle so effective?
Well, it doesn't allow the defense to get set. They're constantly thinking. It breaks down their communication. It just wears down the timing and the communication of the defense.
Coach, are there any passes Carson Palmer can't make?
Carson Palmer is the best pure passer in the game today. If this
You
team
are
stays
correct.
healthy, they will be in the Super Bowl. That was my prediction. I stay with it because they got all the tools after their defense to start taking that ball away again like they did last year.
Rudy.
Not bad.
Herm's not happy.
Herm's not playing.
2nd quarter, Kyle Turley. Protection, not so much. What happens here, Joe?
Dude, you got to take up the slack. He drops right back into Trent Green. This should not happen. You got first contact wins. Turley gives up much too much ground.
He's not a left tackle, gang. You know, Willie Rofe was a left tackle. He's not a left tackle.
Next play, center Casey Wiegman gets bulldozed. That ain't good. 4th quarter, Bengals up 20-3. Damon Heward in for the injured Trent Green, and, well, you know.
Well, you can see a guy that hasn't played a whole lot. Very frenetic in the pocket, never set his feet. The ball's got to come out of his hand.
Frenetic.
Cincy's defense had 7 sacks. Bengals win it 23-10. All right, these are your nominees for primetime players. Chad Pennington, Donovan McNabb, the Ravens defense, and Warwick Dunn. Standard messaging rates apply. Text your choice to 43776. That's 43776. And vote. Y'all like interactive stuff. All right, all day Monday, we will check in Monday with teams at 20. Our reporters, we got 2 games, 4 teams covering it. We'll have teams at 20 with quick updates just to let you know what's going on before both of our doubleheader games. We start with this teams at 20 with Ed Werder, who's with the Redskins.
Well, Stu, Clinton Portis will play but won't start tonight. That makes him the second most scrutinized player on the Redskins offense, the first being quarterback Mark Brunell, who's nearly 36 years old and in a new offensive system, failed to produce a single point in a winless preseason for the Redskins. And it was interesting to note this is not something he wanted to do at this point in his career, but he said you can't look at what they've done with this offense with the Rams and the Chiefs and not embrace it. For a report on the Vikings, let's go to Sal Palantonio.
The Vikings also have a new offense. This is not Dante Culpepper throw it deep to Randy Moss and Chris Carter anymore. This is the timing and rhythm West Coast offense that Brad Childress brought over from Philadelphia. Luckily, he has Brad Johnson to run it. He ran it to perfection with the Tampa Bay Bucks, won a Super Bowl, but he's got a big hole to fill. Corin Robinson is out. They've got to find a go-to difference maker wide receiver on this team if they're going to have any success, Stu.
Thanks a lot, guys. Now on ESPN.com, Joe Theismann explains on Monday Night Surround why it's important for Mark Brunell to stay in the pocket and make plays with his arm. Still ahead on NFL Primetime. Big win against the Panthers yesterday, but can we expect more of that from number 7 this season? The guys break down the delicate maturity of Michael Vick next. And who are the biggest stars from Sunday? Mike Ditka, Steve Young, TJ and Boomer revealed their game breakers. That's also next on NFL Primetime.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
The Panthers are the chic Super Bowl pick, but somebody forgot to hit the Falcons on the berry to let them know. First quarter, 1st and 10 Falcons. You know, Michael Vick has been criticized for lack of completion percentage. Coach, is it justified?
Well, who criticizes him? The media.
Them?
Come on.
You're the
Come
media,
on.
Coach. You're the
He is a
media.
talent. Let him use his talent. Let him use his leg. Let him use his arm. You know, this is a team that rushed for over 250 yards yesterday. This is a solid football team. If that defense steps up and plays like it did yesterday, watch out, because you forget about Carolina.
Vick had 7 carries, 48 yards, but he can also roll out. Jaws, what surprises you when he rolls out and hits his guy crisply?
Well, I love the movement right here. I mean, once he gets in space, he makes people miss. But we all know that Michael Vick has a rocket on his shoulder. He can make the laser-type throw. And I like what the Falcons did in this game. They moved him, designed movement, got him outside the pocket, didn't allow the Panthers to zero in on his launch point.
That was a touchdown to Michael Jenkins.
Watch this one.
I said the word crisply. I made up a word, and I'm going to stick by it.
It'll work.
That's the Algie Crumpler, Tar Heel, 1-yard touchdown pass. Vick, 10 of 22, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. Hurt the Panthers with his arm and his legs. Rushed for 48, threw for 140. Although Vick averaged more passing yards per game last season, he generated more per completion yesterday. And Jaws even looked that up in his new role as ESPN researcher for NFL Primetime.
The more you can do.
But Michael Vick wasn't the only Falcon doing work. John Abraham making his debut. Coach, why does Atlanta need a guy like Abraham?
Well, you got a guy coming off the corner like that. He got a fast, non-stop motor, and you got to have guys like that on your football team. He enthusiates. Well, how about that word?
Enthusiates. I like that.
The rest of the football team. So that's a pretty good word right there.
We're just making up words.
2 sacks.
I like it.
I like pressures all over the quarterback.
It's all about
over the field.
quick pressure, Coach.
Yep.
I did it for 17 years back in that pocket. When a guy shows in your face quick, it rattles you. John Abraham can get in the quarterback quickly.
They were what was it again?
Enthusiastic.
They were enthusiating and playing crisply. Sack. 54 career sacks for Abraham, and the Falcons crush the Carolina Panthers. You know, the Panthers, they came into this season, they had 2 wins over the Falcons last year, and they had that off-season acquisition of the guy who's maybe the best possession receiver in the league. It didn't work for them. What happened?
Well, I tell you what happened. This is a good football team, but not a great football team. And when they don't have Steve Smith, they go from being a good football team to an average football team.
Coach,
I mean, that's as simple as I can put it.
I don't care about Steve Smith, the wide receiving core. When you look at this Carolina team, it's built on a team that wins in the trenches. Yesterday, they only ran the ball 16 times, yet they allowed the Atlanta Falcons to run the ball 47 times for 252 yards. I would not be around John Fox this week. He's an unhappy camper.
Well, who called those plays, by the way? Who called all those plays? Come on. How many called the plays? Wait a second. Maybe the coaching staff isn't on the right page right there. Without Smith, they can't run the football.
Foxy's used to being unhappy after week one. The Panthers have lost their last 3 season openers, all of them at home. Hey, that's the story here on the West Coast. We also got some flavor on the East Coast. Monday Night Football doubleheader on ESPN, and it's going to start in Washington, D.C., where Chris Berman and the Monday Night Countdown crew. Boom, holla at us one time.
All right, Stu, we look forward to seeing you a little bit later on, but as you can see, they're ready for some football in the nation's capital. They've been here since, probably lunchtime. We are about 2.5 hours away to kickoff, and we, of course, are getting all set for a 2-hour edition of Monday Night Countdown leading into our 7 o'clock kickoff here. The Redskins and the Vikings. Glad to be part of Primetime again, and Tommy and I, personally, are glad to be part of Primetime.
I think this is my first time on Primetime.
Right?
We're on Primetime.
You're on Primetime.
Hey!
I shouldn't say just Tommy and I, but Mike and Steve Young, they're personally thrilled to be part of Primetime.
I don't want to make a speech or anything, but I'm a little verklempt over the whole thing.
You're a little what? You should make a speech. Here's what we got to decide. I know we got 2 games left for week 1. Steve, game breakers.
Game breakers. Hey, right out of the gate, Kurt Warner with Anquan Bolden, Larry Fitzgerald tore up the 49ers. He made all kinds of throws, especially running to his left. I thought he was very dynamic, looked super. I think he's trying to answer those questions of can he stay on all year. Hey, how about Donovan McNabb? Off-season leadership decides, I'm going to take it on myself. I'm going to be in Philadelphia the whole year. I'm going to make a statement about this season. Comes out and makes a big statement on the road in Houston. I think Donovan's obviously going to lead this team and rectify whatever was wrong last year. Hey, my #1 game breaker, Chad Pennington, when you answer all of your critics, come off double shoulder surgery, and you do it with a performance like that with such class. Chad Pennington, my #1 game breaker yesterday. Congratulations, Chad. Stay healthy, buddy. I thought the Jets and he played super.
Well, Steve, let me go to my skill players. I didn't think that you would put Kurt Warner up there talking about your 49ers, so I made sure I had Larry Fitzgerald as my #3 playmaker. 9 receptions for 133 yards in that shootout against Steve Niners. He beat Steve Niners 34-27. #2, Dante Stallworth. I'm telling you, this man didn't do so well up and down careers in New Orleans, but he's coming to Philadelphia, and he's showing I will be the #1 guy here. He had a great game yesterday, 6 passes, 141 yards. My #1 skill player yesterday, game breaker, this small man that they keep saying he's too small to do this, but yet he keeps doing it. You see right there, 29 rushes, 132 yards. He handled the carries and the loads by himself.
You talk skill players and quarterbacks, but defense wins championships in Cincinnati. If they're going to win a championship, part of it's going to be because of this guy, Justin Smith. You look at the day he had, 3 sacks on the day, a forced fumble, held Larry Johnson to 68 yards and a Bengals win. And then John Abraham made the move to Atlanta, and what a move it was. The 2 sacks, the 2 forced fumbles, held the Panthers, who wanted to run the ball, to 65 yards rushing. Big win for the Falcons, 20-6. And my #1 game breaker comes from the #1 team in the National Football League until somebody can beat them, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who better than Troy Polamalu? Another big interception, big tackling day, double-digit tackles. The champions until dethroned, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
My attaboys all over the map here. When you kick just 6 field goals and set a team record, the Rams have been around a long time, you get it. Jeff Wilkins, tying a record, he and Bob Waterfield, the Hall of Famers, set in 51, breaking a record that they had of 5. Wilkins now with 6 field goals. The Rams win their lid lifter against Denver. Tom, Michael Kamen kicked off 5 times, kicked 2 field goals for Atlanta, punted for Atlanta 4 times. The last guy to do it was Frank Corral in the early 80s. Kick, punt, and kickoff. You got to give him the nod. But how about Scott Linehan winning the Battle of the Hands? Linehan over Shanahan, first coach ever. He's 1-0. Sean Payton, the Saints, march on the road and get a win. He's 1-0, and so is 35 years young Eric Mangini as the Jets beat Tennessee. So those are our attaboys. Those are our game breakers. We'll see you at 5. A lot of love going on out here, right?
How do your Cowboys do?
Going out here.
How's your Cowboys?
Right
A lot of love
now,
going on.
you felt good. For a 30 at 30, let's go to Carl Roberts. Carl?
All right, Chris, thank you so much. Actually, Brian Kenny here, but either way, we start things off with top stories in the NFL. Big news today, holdout wide receiver Deion Branch traded to Seattle. The Patriots deal into the Seahawks for a first-round pick in the 2007 draft. College football, Texas head coach Mack Brown has reinstated his 2 suspended DBs. Terrell Brown and Tyrell Gatewood both suspended against Ohio State after being arrested last week. Next, Sports Center after the Chargers and Raiders. Right now, we send it back to Stuart Scott.
Brian Kenny, thanks a lot. Yo, anyone who thinks Donovan misses his old pal T.O. must have missed yesterday's game. McNabb's got a new target, but is it a one-week wonder or a real deal? We're talking Eagles next. And from the new dynamic duo in Philly, we go to the one emerging in Baltimore. McNair, Lewis, Bucks got clocked. We're getting ready for 2 games here on Monday night. Vikings, Redskins in D.C., Chargers, Raiders here in Oakland. And there's Tony Kornheiser's ride, his bus. That's how he rolls to Monday Night Football in the booth for his first game tonight. Eagles without T.O. balling with the Texans. Donovan McNabb is happy. Dante Stallworth is happy. The Eagles are happy that the movie Invincible is #1 at the box office. I just had to put that in there. Here's why they're happy. 4 catches, 124 yards for Stallworth in the first half. Jaws, how does the okey-doke work, though?
Spread the ball around, play action fake. Great job by Donovan. This is one of Andy Reid's favorite plays. I can't believe the Texans fell asleep. They must have not read the scouting report, Stu.
C.C. Brown bit on the play fake and... oh, my God.
Oh, my. Hey, where's Reggie Bush, by the way? Is he at this game?
No,
No, Coach?
And the back just blocked Williams on that play, by the way, too, so.
57 seconds left in the second quarter. Eagles down 10-7. McNabb to Stallworth. Coach, what does this kind of catch mean to your new teammates?
That means that you're going to come across the middle, you're going to go inside, you're going to sacrifice your body for the Philadelphia Eagles football team.
There you go again, Stu, that play-action fake. Look at the protection. And Donovan strokes it in there. Well done. Donovan just looked very comfortable in the pocket.
Mario Williams, #1 overall pick. Coach, why is it tougher for a rookie defensive end to make an impact than a rookie running back?
First of all, he's going to try so hard right now, it's unbelievable. You think he doesn't hear everything that's being said? He's a good kid. He's a good athlete. He's a good player. He just wasn't the first pick in the draft. Charlie?
Eagles win the game 24-10. Our Visa inside the numbers, Dante Stallworth's Eagles debut compared to T.O.'s back in 2004. Dante more yards. T.O. had 3 touchdown grabs in his Eagles debut. Stallworth did most of his damage in the first half, and we don't think that Dante is, going to be, doing the stuff that happened.
How do we know?
He won't know.
We don't know.
He won't.
Ray Lewis says if Steve McNair can get the Ravens offense 24 points, they might go undefeated. First drive for the Ravens. We're not saying the Ravens quarterbacks of old have not been good, are we?
How about this drive? 14 plays to open up the season for 7 points. In the last 10 years, the Ravens only had 3 drives of 14 plays or more. Oh, welcome, Steve McNair.
14-play, 80-yard drive there, and then Chris Sims for the Bucks on offense.
Hey, when you run the football for less than 35 yards, what are you going to do? You're going to throw it, then you're going to play right into the hands of one of the best defenses in football. You're talking about, they may shut out every opponent this year.
Late in the quarter, 2nd and 9, Sims pass tipped by Bart Scott, and yes, the big brother, Haloti Nata, 340 pounds. Watch the cutback move.
Where?
Right there.
Where?
Hey, watch the...
Now, that's where the prayer goes out for somebody to catch.
All right, well, he got tired. He's 340. But, Jaws, other than returning fumbles, how does Haloti Nata help the linebacker?
Thanks for teeing me up with that one so I could hit a real good drive. It allows the linebackers the freedom to run. When your defensive tackles are taking on double teams, it allows the linebackers to attack and play downhill.
And look, Michael Pittman, you just got blowed up by Ray Lewis. Lights out. Ravens win it 27-0.
I'm not going to sit here and assess blame upon myself publicly. I get enough of that when I'm walking out to my car, okay? I didn't like it one bit yesterday, you know what I mean? I got a lot of pride in what we do here. We work extremely hard, and to go out there and to get defeated soundly at home is enough to make me sick. But I got a lot of respect for these fans that pay good money to come in here and watch their Buccaneers, and to send them home like we did yesterday is something that makes me sick and humiliated.
Love a coach who says how he feels. 49ers and Cardinals opening at Arizona's new home field. Last year, the Cardinals did not score one single touchdown in the first quarter all year. They had 3 of them yesterday. There's Edgerrin James, who had 26 carries, 73 yards. Kurt Warner has some weapons. Guys, if you could only have Larry Fitzgerald or Anquan Bolden, who would it be?
Larry Fitzgerald. They're both very good, but I'm going to take Fitzgerald for my money.
He went to Pitt. You got to take
There you go.
Here he finds Larry Fitzgerald for 17 yards. Anquan Bolden here for the touchdown. Both guys had over 100 catches last year. Cardinals go up 21-7. Second quarter, 1st and 10 in the 43. Warner finds Fitzgerald. He's got, I mean, he ain't the fastest guy in the world, but his hands are redunculous.
And Kurt Warner, accuracy, the most overlooked aspect of quarterbacking. I know my friend Coach Ditka wants Matt Leinart in there. If Warner plays like this, Matt Leinert's going to get a lot of time on the sideline.
If I want to go to the Super Bowl, I want Matt Leinart in there because once this guy gets some pressure,
no.
You
didn't watch that game, Coach. He was stroking it.
Cardinals won the game 34-27. How about some long-awaited debuts? Edge ran for 73. T.O. caught a pass from the Cowboys in the first play from scrimmage, scored his first touchdown late in the 4th, and Steve McNair didn't have to do much because his defense was just all over the Bucs. Those are the new stars. Our new star segment, teams at the 20. We're going to check in with each team here on the Monday night every 20 minutes past the hour. Colleen Dominguez with the report on the Raiders.
Hey, Stuart. Well, I sat down with Randy Moss, and in typical Moss fashion, he had a lot to say. He said he is a little concerned about the depth at wide receiver now that Doug Gabriel's been traded to the Patriots, and now that Jerry Porter has been having some off-the-field issues. Porter has basically demanded a trade and been in Art Shell's doghouse all preseason. As for Aaron Brooks, Moss says he hopes he remains the starting quarterback all season, but if things change, he feels Andrew Walter is ready to step in and go. Stu?
Colleen, thanks a lot. Still ahead on NFL Primetime. With the passing game up in the air, will it be the ground game that gets it done for New England this year? The guys will toss that around coming up next. Also ahead, the debut of Vince Young. Does he look like he's ready to be #1? And the #1 man again for New York. Big day for Chad Pennington, but would it be enough?
Inside the Numbers. Brought to you by Visa. Go on, live life. And remember that no matter what it takes, life takes Visa.
You know what I like about tennis are the rankings. I like to know exactly where you stand at all times.
Yeah, it works for us.
Yeah. Hey, if they rank SportsCenter anchors, where do you think I'd be ranked?
I don't know.
Come on.
Fantasy Ticker. Brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade.
Bills' new head coach, Dick Duran. First regular season game, Bills and Patriots. First major decision, 3rd quarter. 4th and 1 from the 7. Willis McGahee stacked up by the Patriots defense. Bills turned the ball over and downs. Now, 4th quarter, Patriots 4th and 1.
Take your points, Stu. Take your points there.
Take the points?
Take the points.
It worked. Tom Brady converts the sneak. 2 minutes left. Patriots field goal range. But Steve Gutowski on the sideline on 4th and 2. Coach, 4th down. Do you go for it all these times in week 1?
Well, I'll tell you what, if you got to win a football game, I think you do whatever you have to do. When I got Corey Dillon back there, and I don't think my offensive line and Corey Dillon can give me 2 yards, I shouldn't be in the league.
Rookie Lawrence Maroney. Jaws, why is he overlooked?
Well, you know, when you got Corey Dillon, people have a tendency not to look any deeper. I like the 3-headed monster. When you have Dillon, Maroney, and Kevin Falk out of the backfield, you create some problems for the defense.
Maroney, 17 carries, 86 yards. Corey Dillon, 16 carries, 73 yards. The Patriots down late. They come back and win the game 19-17. Tom Brady didn't have to do much. All he had to do was turn around and hand the ball off to these guys. And word out of New England, Tom Brady is still hot. Or at least that's what the women say. Saints and Patriots each drafted running backs in the 1st round to pair with established stars. Reggie Bush, Deuce McAllister in New Orleans. They're the tandem. Lawrence Maroney, Corey Dillon in New England. They're the tandem. Yesterday's results, positive for both teams. Jets and Titans doing work. Vince Young didn't start, but came in during the 2nd quarter. Titans down 7-0. All right, he's a rookie. What do you say about this play, Coach?
We're waiting, Coach.
Well,
Pick it off on the other guys.
Hold on. He underthrew the ball. First of all, You shouldn't have him sitting in the pocket that much. Let him do what he did at Texas. Move him around, get him out of the pocket.
He ought to sit on the bench. He's not ready yet. All right, but the guy that is ready is Chad Pennington.
For 1 week.
This is how you play. This is how you play the quarterback position. Read the coverage. Throw the ball to the open receiver. If the guy comes down high, throw it low. If he comes down low, throw it high. If he goes outside, throw it inside. Pennington knows how to operate
It's a long season, Jaws.
We'll see.
Be careful what you wish for.
And I will get it.
They thought his career might have been over. Chad Pennington was on point. 24 of 33, 319 yards, 2 touchdowns, and basically to everybody who thought, ooh, his shoulder might not be good, take that. Seahawks, Detroit, just like the end of the season, taking on the Lions in Detroit. Sean Alexander, why did he struggle? The MVP, why did he struggle, Jones?
Play good defense.
Penetration. Rod Marinelli, his pedigree is the defensive line. And you saw right there, it was penetration by the Detroit Lions defensive line, getting to Sean Alexander in the backfield before he could get started. That's how you stop the run. Penetration.
More touchdowns than anybody ever over a 5-year period for Alexander, but only 51 yards and 19 rushes yesterday. Coach, you like a field goal game?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Detroit did not win this football game. We know that. But I tell you what, they got to be happy up here because they're going back right now to what made them good in the past. They're going to play in a good hard-nosed football, good defense, and that's what's going to get them back, believe me.
Seahawks held off the Lions 9-6. Sean Alexander, Larry Johnson, not normal days on Sunday. Alexander led the NFL last year. Johnson, 9 straight 100-yard games. Both failed to crack the century mark. Still up in NFL Primetime, some ginormous surprises all over the place in Week 1. Who are the biggest heroes on Sunday? We'll reveal primetime performers straight ahead. Plus, scary moment in Kansas City. Was this nasty hit on Trent Green a dirty one? Ron Jaworski and Mike Ditka are ready to square off. That's next.
Back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
All right, guys, time for the Miller Lite square off. Yesterday, we saw it earlier in the show. Trent Green was hit hard by Richard Geathers. Trent Green was scrambling. It was a hard hit. Knocked Trent Green out unconscious for 11 minutes. Now, Green did slide. Guys, square off. Tape your wrist. Bow. Was it a cheap shot?
The guy couldn't stop. He was already into the motion of making a tackle. It looked like he got pushed from behind. Could he have pulled off? I don't know. The game of football is fast. When we slow it down, we say, oh, he could have pulled up. I don't know if he could have pulled up. It's an instinctive game. You're doing things this quick out there. He fired. That's all he did.
Yeah, I agree with you, Coach. I don't think it was a cheap shot. As you look at Gathers there, it's Eddie Kennison coming back to block him. So there was contact even before Trent went down, and Gathers was kind of pushed into Trent Green. You hate to see that happen, but when you look at this play, it wasn't the hit. Watch Trent's head hit the ground. Now, Stu, I've had 32 concussions in my playing career, 17 years. Most of them were not from the hit. They were from your head snapping back and the brain inside your skull banging against the skull. It's that hit on the ground that caused the concussion.
What about the argument that you can't hit a quarterback in the head?
Well, I don't think I thought he hit him more in the chest more than anywhere. The helmet struck here. It would have been head-to-head. They would have penalized it.
I just don't think it was a cheap shot.
It wasn't helmet to
I don't think it was cheap. No, not at all.
Well, the Chiefs now have only 4 quarterbacks on the roster. They had Trent Green, who's hurt, Damon Heward, who hadn't thrown a pass in 5 years.
And he didn't throw on Sunday.
He didn't throw, and 2 rookies, one of which is on the practice squad.
Get well, Trent.
Square Off is brought to you by Miller Lite. Join the Square Off debate online at espn.com.
Whose performances got the attention of fantasy owners and our experts Sunday? The primetime players identified, unmasked, and revealed next. And we're almost ready to hand it off to Boomer and the boys, getting you ready for a huge Monday night doubleheader. There's Boom and the fellas in our nation's capital. Boom, we're coming to you. Sit tight. We got one more segment here in primetime. We're going to hand out our primetime players in, hand it off to you all, the primetime players.
NFL Primetime is presented by Miller Lite and approved by the men of the square table. Good call. And in part by NFL.com. Log on and watch all the highlights from every NFL game this season. It's all on NFL.com.
Alltel Stadium, Jacksonville, Florida. Supposed to be a home game for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but you will not believe the Steeler fans that are in the house. Game time not far away. NFL Primetime right now. A big win, but a bigger loss for the Cowboys Sunday night. T.O. hurt. How long will he be out, and how much this hurts Dallas? From Big D to Big Blue and a huge comeback in the Philadelphia. How Eli woke up the sleeping Giants and why Philly lost more than just one game. Super Bowl hopefuls already in the ropes after week 2. Can any of these favorites get back on track to Miami, or is it too late now? And the Saints marching out to a quick 2-0 start. But now the big question for Reggie Bush and company is Nollins for real? Helmets on, pads pulled tight, yo, because we're busting up and breaking down week 2 on NFL Primetime right now.
NFL Primetime is